Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, let's continue so we finish. We were talking about the ecological pyramids. The last thing we talked about is the pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass. I hope plotting the pyramid of biomass is clear. Now, the advantages of the pyramid of the biomass over the pyramid of number is that it looks like a normal pyramid. It is not confusing. It is wide at the base and then it narrows down just like a normal pyramid and it is easy to plot. Okay, again, if you're asked to plot a pyramid of biomass, you will plot a very normal graph, but the only difference is that the y-axis is in the middle of the graph, and the values of the biomass will be distributed on the right and the left of the y-axis. If the biomass is 80, then 40 to the right and 40 to the left, and so on. And of course, the vertical distance of the bars, they have to be the same, and you have to use more than half the bars. You need to only do it once, and you will realize that it's really easy. Now, they can ask you here to calculate the percentage of the biomass lost between the clover and the sparrowhawk. Give your answer to two significant figures. To calculate the percentage. Now, we want to know the percentage here between the clover and the sparrowhawk. Okay, the percentage, just like the percentage difference. So the clover will be the starting biomass, and the sparrowhawk will be the final biomass. So let's go look at the biomass of the clover. The biomass of the clover is 80. So this is the starting, okay? Over the sparrowhawk, what is the sparrowhawk here? It's 2 with a value of 2. So the change over the original, it's going to be the change here over the original times 100, and this is going to be the percentage of the biomass lost. Again, don't give it as a negative number because this is exactly the same as the percentage decrease. So the final, if we do the final minus the original over the original, you'll get the same answer, but in negative. Don't give it as a negative because here they told you clearly in the question, this is biomass loss. Okay, so you can be asked for a lot of questions. Now we're done with the three types of pyramids. We have the pyramid of energy, don't forget, and the pyramid of number. The pyramid of number here, can you hear me well? Hello? Are you with me? Okay, the pyramid of number here, we take the example also always of a tree. And this example here, because we have only one tree, the pyramid of number is always inverted and it is confusing and it is not easy to plot. And we have the last pyramid, which is the pyramid of biomass, which is the pyramid that represents the biomass or the mass of the organisms at every trophic level. And the biomass decreases as you move up the pyramid. That is why the pyramid of biomass has a wide base and then a narrow base and then a narrower base and so on. This is how a pyramid of biomass is, or it looks like, and it is plotted by putting the y-axis in the middle of the x-axis so that you can plot the bars. I hope it's clear. Okay. Again, energy is lost as you move up the food chain, but the organic matter is recycled. I hope this is clear. Okay, now we have some nutrient cycles that are very easy. What is a nutrient cycle? In other words, how does this nutrient enter or leave the environment? We will talk about carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, how does it enter your environment and how does the carbon dioxide leave your environment? Before I start talking about the carbon dioxide environment, carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. Can someone tell me, what do you know about a greenhouse gas?
Causes climate change and global warming. Global warming.
Yes. A greenhouse gas, we will study carbon dioxide and other examples. It's a gas that will trap the heat around our Earth, and it is going to cause something called global warming or climate change. In other words, it's a gas that will make our globe, our Earth, warmer than normal. So it's not a good gas. This gas is not good. It should not remain in our atmosphere because it causes global warming. Now, carbon dioxide, how does it get absorbed from the atmosphere? only by photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the only process that removes carbon dioxide from our atmosphere. If you remember photosynthesis, the equation, the plants absorb carbon dioxide from the environment plus water from the soil, and they use it in the presence of light, energy, and chlorophyll to give me glucose and oxygen. So photosynthesis is very good. It's an advantage because it removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So the more plants we have, the better. Because if we have a lot of plants, these plants will do photosynthesis. They will remove the carbon dioxide from our atmosphere and give us oxygen. And of course, this is going to make our air better to breathe. Now, what are the other factors that contribute to the nutrient cycle or the carbon dioxide cycle? I'll tell you a very easy way to remember the different processes. Dr. PC. What is Dr. PC? D stands for decomposition. R for respiration. P, what do you think, for photosynthesis, and C for combustion. And to cut a long story short, it's only photosynthesis that removes carbon dioxide from our environment. Let's look at the rest. Decomposition. What is decomposition? Decomposition is the breakdown of dead organic matter, and decomposition is exactly the same as respiration. We have food, which is dead, broken down to give me carbon dioxide and water. So decomposition results in the release of carbon dioxide into the environment. Let's look at respiration. I think you know what respiration is very well. It's exactly the same as decomposition, but the only difference is in the nature of the food. Again, food is broken down. It combines with oxygen to give me carbon dioxide and water. So respiration also is not good because it releases carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. What is combustion? Who knows what is combustion?
Burning with oxygen.
Burning fossil fuels, burning petrol, natural gas, which releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So also combustion releases carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. So the carbon cycle, how does the carbon dioxide enter and leave our environment? Dr. TC, what is D? Tell me, remind me.
Decomposition.
Decomposition. Very good. Decomposition releases CO2 or absorbs CO2.
Releases.
Exactly. What is R?
Respiration.
Respiration. That also releases CO2 or absorbs CO2.
Releases CO2.
CO2. What is P?
Photosynthesis.
Again, it releases CO2 or absorbs CO2.
Absorbs.
Absorbs. This is the only process, this is the only good process that absorbs CO2. Fine. Now we have the last C. What is C?
Combustion.
Combustion. It also releases CO2. So these are the different processes in the carbon cycle that either add CO2 or release CO2 from the environment. Okay. Now we have, this is also another factor showing you carbon dioxide and its cycle. Here is respiration that releases CO2 and decay. This is a dead cow. It will decay, also releases CO2. And we have here combustion, breaking or burning fossil fuels. The only thing that will take CO2 from the environment is photosynthesis. Nice and easy. Good. Now we said all this. This is done. And this is another picture, the same thing. The water cycle. The water cycle is very easy also. How does the water enter and leave the environment? We have this diagram that will simplify things. We have evaporation. Evaporation is the evaporation of water from the oceans due to the heat energy. This will release water into the environment. Actually, it will release water vapor. What else releases water vapor into the environment? Respiration. Respiration from organisms, if you forgot. Respiration is food plus oxygen giving us carbon dioxide and water. So water vapor is released into the environment by respiration. Also, transpiration, I think you know it very well. This is the evaporation of water vapor from plants. So all these things will add water vapor into our environment. Now, the water vapor is warm. When it enters our environment, it will go up to the sky. Up in the sky, it is cold. And this is going to make the warm water vapor condense and give me clouds. What are clouds? Clouds, these are, or they happen from the condensation of water vapor. Again, water vapor is going to be released to our environment by evaporation of water from the seas and the rivers, from respiration from organisms, from transpiration in plants. This is going to give us water vapor. Water vapor is warm. It will enter our environment, and because it is warm, it is less dense. It will move up, up, up in the sky. It is cold up there. What happens up there? Condensation, which is the conversion of warm water vapor to form clouds. We have clouds. At a certain point, these clouds will break open and release rain, and this is what precipitation. So that the water will go back to our earth. Easy? Anything hard about the water cycle? We have evaporation. And then we have here condensation, the making of clouds, because it's cold up there. And then we have precipitation, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, evaporation, condensation, precipitation. What is hard? Any questions? Anything hard about the water cycle? Water leaves from the surfaces of the rivers by evaporation, from the plants, transpiration. Organisms, they respire. This water vapor is warm, it's less dense, it will go up to the sky. Up there, it is nice and cold, so it will form clouds. This is condensation. These clouds will then become very heavy at a certain point and then break out and give us snow and rain, etc., etc. Is my voice clear or I am lagging? I only have 5 minutes and I'll let you go. Any questions? Hello?
Yes, Miss, your voice is clear.
Okay. Now, what we will talk about next is something that we already mentioned in class, the factors that affect the population. Remember the population curve that we talked about? Okay, we did talk about it when we were talking about the population of bacteria in a fermenter. And this population curve is the same population curve we use for every organism except humans. And I'll tell you why except humans. Now, this is a very easy question or objective. Let's first discuss the definition of a population. A population is a group of organisms of the same species that live in the same area at the same time. Very easy. Now, what are the things that will increase or decrease the rate of population? You don't even need to attend a biology class to know that if you have more food, the population will increase. If you have less food, the population will decrease. If you have diseases, this is going to cause a decrease in population. If you have predators, predators means what? We don't have predators. Predators means one organism eating another organism. Like, for example, a lion and a fox. The lion is the predator and the fox is the prey. More predators, this is going to reduce population size. Very clear, very easy. Diseases also, like the COVID, it will reduce population size. Now, the use of contraceptives, this is going to decrease only a human population because only humans use contraceptives. Animals don't use contraceptive. Okay. Fine, only the humans have this graph. I'll just clarify this curve or this graph. This is a human population curve. Time is on the x-axis and the population of humans is on the y-axis. Our graph is always moving up. If you remember the other graph that we discussed in class, it has a lag phase and an exponential phase and a constant phase and a decline phase. Why? Because we don't have limiting factors. There are no factors that limit or stop our growth. Maybe it can slow down our growth, but we don't have factors that will make our death rate more than the birth rate, except if it's a catastrophe. So the human population curve is always going up with time. We always have more humans. We have more babies, okay? It's just either faster or slower. So this is the population curve for humans. It is always increasing, and it will increase more when we have more food and we have peace and we don't have wars and we don't have diseases and we don't have natural disasters. Our population will increase. Okay, the human population growth has been increasing exponentially. Exponentially means it doesn't stop for the last 150 years. Why? Because we have improved technology, especially in agriculture. We are making more food by genetic engineering and biotechnology, and by using modern machines and by using artificial selection. Food has increased. So we are eating more. So that is why we are reproducing more. We have improved medical health, better hygiene, better health care. That is why we are not dying. A human population is growing in the absence of limiting factors. And I think you know what is a limiting factor? It is any factor that will restrict the size of a population and prevent it from reaching its full potential. So this is the population curve for humans only, because we don't have limiting factors. There is an advantage when the population increases too much. And this picture shows some of the advantages. When the population increases too much, what are the advantages? What stress or strain does this cause to the government? The government has to provide what for all those people? Give me an answer.
Education.
Education and food and space and work and employment and housing and medical care and health care. Okay, so this can be a question on its own. This lesson is very easy. I don't want you to sit and study it, like just read it a lot, and because it's very, very basic. And the year 9 notes are also very important. So too much people means that the government needs to provide basic resources like food and water and space and blah, 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 and houses and more land and education and work. And the old people needs medical care. And this is the load on the economy. Let's go back to those definitions at the end. I'll explain this graph and then I'll let you go. We already did explain this graph. This is the graph for any population, for any other organism other than humans. We have the lag phase. Here, there's a slow increase in population because the organism is getting used to its surrounding. There's still very little in number, and they still did not reach reproductive age. We cannot reproduce the moment we're born. We have to reach a certain reproductive age. So this is what happens in the lag phase. And then there is exponential growth. Population is increasing very quickly. There are no limiting factors. Please use the word limiting factors. Here we have food and space, we have our health, and we reach reproductive age. We're happy, so we will reproduce. Here, this is when the death equals the birth. Some limiting factors here started to show up. Here, obviously, when I have death more than birth, because no food, no water, no space, we are very old. The organism we have, there is an increase in the temperature, an increase in the waste products, more acidity if we're talking about bacteria in a fermenter. I think we mentioned that. Populations are affected by changes in temperature, presence of predators, disease, immigration, if individuals are moving into an area, emigration, individuals or organisms are moving out of an area, supply of resources, more food or less food, war, natural disasters, diseases, all this, of course, affects the population. We talked about this graph more than once, enough. The last 2 definitions, and then I'll let you go. These definitions, they just need to be memorized, especially ecosystem. A community is defined as all of the populations of the different species in an ecosystem, like humans and dogs and cats and caterpillars and frogs, they all live in one ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? It is a unit containing a community of the organisms and their environment interacting together. So all the organisms plus their non-living environment. So these definitions, maybe these are the only things that you need to memorize. I finished lesson 19, the core, which is actually more than the supplement. Any questions? What's important in this lesson, if you want to target the important objectives, are the pyramids, okay, and the graph. This graph is very important, and the pyramids and the factors that affect the population growth and the different nutrient and the different cycles. The most important part in this lesson, the core part, are the pyramids, the energy, the pyramid of energy and the pyramid of biomass, and how do you plot it. This is the most important part of the lesson. Anyone has any questions in this easy lesson? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, I finished it and I mentioned every single detail in the year 9 notes. Anyone has any questions? And the flow of energy, very easy. But it's easy to me. Anyone has any questions? They want me to repeat anything? Can I get a yes or a no?
No, thank you.
No.
Okay, we finished lesson 19 core. Tomorrow it's also lesson 20 core. It's very short and very easy, so that in class on Sunday and Tuesday I will finish the supplement and we will finish the syllabus inshallah before Ramadan. Okay, if you have any questions, ask me please. Have a good day.
Miss, will these 2 chapters be included in the mocks?
No, even though I should include it, honestly, it's very easy, but I won't. Did you get an email about the mock? You have the mock in 2 weeks. And you have separate
Yes.
exams, paper 2 and 4 and 6. Paper 6 will be the first exam. It will be in class. So it will be in 10 days.
Can you please give us a date, like when?
Yes, of course, I will. I'll send an email first. And you will receive an email and I'll give you a date and don't worry. So I'll make paper 6 before the beginning of the exams because I know that after the exams you will be having holidays. And by the way, expect this for all the subjects. You will be getting paper 6 exams in all sciences in class. So I have to set a date very soon, maybe by Saturday, which is tomorrow, so that I know that the teachers will be fighting for timings. So please start studying paper 6 and paper 4 and paper 2. And good luck. If you have any questions, ask me. And no, lesson 18 and 19, 18 and 19, yes, ecology will not be in the mock exam. I promised you. Okay? Bye-bye.